Hey everybody, Matumbo here. Welcome back to the channel, and today we are playing some more historic here on Magic Arena. And we are going to go back to almost the time of Old Standard. Obviously, yeah, there's going to be some cards in here that were not standard legal at the time, but this is going to be pretty close to what I feel like would have been legal in Standard back then. But real quick though, before we hop into today's deck, as always, I want to remind everybody, if you enjoy the channel and the video, please hit that subscribe button, that like button. Check out all the cool links down in the description below, whether it be the Discord, the Patreon, or the great Twitch link, since we have been streaming more. And then also, leave a comment down below letting us know what you want to see in a future video, and let us know what you're working on in Kaladesh, and maybe we can build a deck around a deck that you're trying to, brew ideas for. So with that being said, let's hop right into today's deck. And we are playing Mardu Vroom. Yeah, we are playing some vehicles. Not a bunch of vehicles, but we do have a total of 4 vehicles, and I want to really just kind of look at how powerful vehicles can be. And this is going to be a great way to highlight it, again, by building a deck that potentially was pretty close to standard, how it was back when Ether Revolt and Amonkhet were legal. So again, vehicles are artifacts that they do have power and toughness, but they can't attack unless they're crewed. And in order to crew a vehicle, you have to tap any number of creatures you control with the total power of whatever the crew cost is. Or if it has an alternate ability, kind of like this Heart of Kieran does, which makes it really powerful, you can crew it that way. So this is a 2-mana 4/4 flying vigilant creature potentially, if you can crew it with 3. Or you can remove a loyalty counter from a planeswalker you control rather than pay its crew cost. So we have a bunch of creatures that can actually crew this for 3. But we also have 1 copy of Aethersphere Harvester. This is pretty powerful against like burn and just aggro decks in general. It's a 3-mana 3/5 potentially, but it only has a crew cost of 1. What also makes this good is the fact that it does fly, but it gives you 2 energy when it comes into play, and you can pay 1 energy to give it lifelink. So it makes for a good blocker. It actually makes for a good attacker. It gives you a little bit of life back because of the whole lifelink factor. And it has a really cheap crew cost, which really makes it worthwhile in playing. So so let's take a look at all of our, let's look at all the cards. We're just going to hit on the basics first. We have 4 copies of Thoughtseize. Obviously, we want to disrupt their hand, especially with an aggro deck. We want to get rid of all their removal and the cards that just prevent us from winning. We do have a couple copies of Fatal Push. So Fatal Push, again, great reprint here from Kaladesh Remastered. Destroys a creature if it has a converted mana cost of 2 or less. And it does have a Revolt trigger that lets us destroy something that costs 4 or less if one of our permanents died that turn. And then we also have 3 copies of Unlicensed Disintegration. This is a really good removal spell in this deck, because for 3 mana, not only do you get to destroy a creature, if we have an artifact, it's also going to deal 3 damage to our opponent. So really, really, really powerful. So let's really look at the creatures here. First creature we're going to look at is Toolcraft Exemplar. This card is really good. It's a 1-mana 1/1, but it says at the beginning of combat on your turn, if you control an artifact, it's going to get +2/+1 until end of turn. And then if you control 3 or more artifacts, against first strike. So we're not really necessarily worried about the first strike, but it is a plus. But what makes this card really powerful in this deck with the Heart of Kieran? So if you go into full control mode, what you can do is you can allow this ability to go on the stack, let that ability resolve, and then before you declare attackers, since at that point it's a 3/2, you can actually tap it to crew Heart of Kieran, and then now you have an attacker for 4 in the air that makes it vigilant. So again, it is worth noting that you can, stack abilities like that if you were not familiar. So we have 4 copies of Bomat Courier. This is a card that I always feel dirty playing. It is a 1-mana 1/1 with haste. When it attacks, you exile the top card of your library face down. And then really what this is going to do is this is going to fill our hand back up, because it has this other ability that says pay 1 mana, discard your hand, sacrifice Bomat Courier, put all the cards exiled with Bomat Courier into the owner's hands. So again, what's really cool is we're just going to be swinging with this probably, as early as turn 1. And then we're going to just be dumping our hand. And then when we only have like, 0, 1, or 2 cards in our hand, this is going to have like 4 or 5 cards underneath it. We can just pitch those. And then just draw basically a whole new hand and then just have so much gas. It's going to be really hard for our opponents to recover. And it's really good if we have multiples of these going on turns 1 and 2, and they just can't get rid of them. This is just going to be able to refuel everything really easy. We have a couple of we have 4 copies of Scrap Heap Scrounger. This is a 2 mana 3/2. It can't block, but no big deal, because for 2 mana we can actually exile another creature from our graveyard and return it back to the battlefield. Really good. So it's a creature that has recursion. Notably, you can do this at the end of your opponent's turn. Maybe they forgot that this is in your graveyard, but the way Arena sets everything aside, they're typically not going to forget. But also notably, this is a 3/2, so 3 power lets us crew the Heart of Kiran. So very, 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 very good. All right, we have 4 copies of Gideon Blackblade. This is one of the best planeswalkers, I feel like, for this deck. It's a 3 mana 4/4 essentially. So you play Heart of Kiran on turn 2. You can play Gideon on turn 3. Actually, he is a creature since it's your turn. You can tap Gideon, crew the Heart of Kiran, then +1 to activate his ability to give Heart of Kiran like lifelink, and then just swing in for 4 on the turn on turn 3. And then whenever they actually come back to attack you on their turn, you can actually just remove a loyalty counter from Gideon and activate Heart of Kiran, and then you have a 4/4 blocker. So again, Gideon really, really powerful with Heart of Kiran. 4 copies of Bone Crusher Giant. Why? Because Bone Crusher Giant, 2 damage to anything, and on top of it, it's a 4/3. It's a great attacker. It allows us to power up Heart of Kiran. Again, Heart of Kiran, as you may not have heard yet, is actually really powerful and super important in this deck. So this really helps enable that. And yeah, and we have, again, we hit the 1 copy of Ether Sphere Harvester, and then we're just going to hit these last cards. We have 3 copies of Chandra. Chandra, great, one of the best planeswalkers ever created. What's really cool is we can power this out. Maybe we haven't even played a Heart of Kiran yet. We can +1 to add 2 mana, play Heart of Kiran. We can exile the top card to deal damage. We could deal damage with the minus ability, or if we happen to ultimate, we're just going to start dealing a lot of damage. I don't think this deck ever wants to get to the point where it's ultimating Chandra, but I feel like if you're ever getting to the point where you're ultimating Chandra, you're going to win that game no matter what. And then last but not least, we have 1 copy of Hydrate the Fervent, 4 mana 5/4, indestructible, haste. It can't attack if you have unless you have 1 or fewer cards in your hand, but it does have a really cool ability that says for 3 mana, discard a card to deal 2 damage to your opponent. So it is worth noting that we could just drop this, start pitching our hand to deal damage to our opponent, and then just start getting in with this. There's just so many ways that we can attack our opponents with this deck. There's so much really great synergy in this deck. And then just to wrap it off, we have 23 lands. We don't want to necessarily run 24. We do cap our deck at 4 mana, but don't really want to cut too many lands. So I really feel like hitting it at 23 is the perfect amount of land to play. So this is Mardu Vroom. So let's power up these vehicles, hop into the gameplay, and let's talk about how we do in the wrap up. See you then. All right. Mardu Vehicles. This 100% used to be a pretty formidable standard deck back when it was all standard legal. So we're gonna see if it still has what it takes. All right. So this is not the best hand, but this does have some potential, especially if we draw a land or two. Not a Gideon. Could have actually ran this out. I don't really think that does anything though. So I do want to go ahead and Thoughtseize, get in for 1. Okay. Fatal Push, huh? Fatal Push. Yeah, I think the worst card for us is that. We get to drop down a Gideon here.
I march into battle as your champion of justice. I believe in you.
Alright, well, we are drawing all of the Gideons. I think we should just go ahead and run this out. Let's go ahead and +2.
You and I are gonna take them out. Yup, you're going.
Yeah, this is working out pretty well.
I will lend you my strength.
They have another growth spiral. Shark Typhoon. Sure thing. I mean, if they have another one, they have another one. Looks like they do. We're just gonna crew. We're gonna crew it up, right? Enjoy the Gideons. That was a great draw, actually.
Today's my lucky day.
Your light will cleave the darkness.
So they can get Uro back permanently, but we can kill it with the Gideon. Looks like they are going to do that. And I think that's fine. How about we just draw one of our fatal pushes so we don't have to actually -6 the Gideon?
That's enough.
So and get rid of that.
My sword is your end.
Go ahead and try and hit a non-land.
This'll be easy.
You know what? Let's go into full control mode. We're gonna cast this in response.
Hey, watch it. You wanna go, tough guy?
All right, now what do we do? I think we are going to play this down just in case. You know what? We're just going to clear the way.
Oh, yep, you're flammable.
All right. Let's do it to it. They're at 4.
We will not fail. Rise, my element.
Okay. Now we're at 7. I'm pretty sure we have lethal. Yep, Dark Angel agrees we have lethal. And the game is over. Good game, good game. All right. Game 2. You know what that means. It is hydration time. Time to hydrate. All right, let's get an opponent. There we go. Perfect. Perfect timing. Como Kazi Jeff. Interesting. This is an interesting hand. We're going to give it a shot. We do have some Scrap Heap Scroungers into potential disintegrations. Is this mono red? Is it goblins? Is it Gruul? I feel like this has the potential to be goblins more than anything. Whatever it is. Whatever it is. So, I mean, we could just force the issue at hand, right? Let's force the issue. Okay, so... So in a braid, that means no goblins. This is probably mono red control, big red. Interesting. I really don't want them to power out a 5 mana.
Prepare for battle.
5 mana Chandra here. 4 mana Chandra we're okay with. I mean, we're not really okay with it, but... Would love to draw a untapped mana source. Okay. Regulator. Okay, you are not an untapped mana source, my friend. Wish I could give this thing like haste or something, but
I believe in you, friend.
get Chandra down to 1. Against mono red, I'm not going to be in a position to where I'm going to want to -6 this. Okay. Interesting.
Too bad.
Are they gonna loyalty counter it? Interesting. Oh my gosh, are you kidding me?
Hard work.
Chandra's Triumph. What?
I surrender.
Must be nice. So now if they plus the Chandra, and then they can... Please hit a land. Really?
Today's
Yeah, it sure is your lucky day. Well, we're going to bring back this other Scrounger, so it's... yep, they're doing exactly what we thought they were going to do.
we can do this together.
And they have another removal spell. They just drew 3 of their Abrades? Okay, that seems very likely.
Oh, this is gonna hurt.
Wow. Well, we are getting Chandra'd.
If you haven't heard of me, then get ready to meet my flames. Bye-bye. Study, focus. I just want to burn.
And that's going to be game. I mean, we're not going to be able to recover from this, so we're going to go ahead and concede. It is unfortunate that Big Chandra here, when she kills stuff, it does exile it, so we can't bring back from the Scrap Heap Scrounger. But yeah, I mean, this was really hard to recover from. What was really hard to recover from was the fact that they drew 3 Abrades, and then they also are playing Chandra's Triumph. So good for them. Good for them. Good game. All right. On to game 3. It was pretty devastating getting triple Chandra. We got Chandra Tribal played against us. God, those 3 Abrades. It's like the one deck that they could have gone against. That Abrade was like a very key draw. We go first against the Luris deck. Yeah, we're gonna keep this. This seems pretty good. I do feel a little dirty playing Bomat Courier. Just a little bit. Okay. Well, I mean, they kill it here. We don't really care that much. So they know. Guess we need white mana more. And if we could just get red mana, this Hazard's going to close the game out pretty quick. Pyromancer with... That was a great draw. I wonder if they think there's a world where they gain control of it and sacrifice it if they actually get the cards that's underneath it. Because we know that's not how it works. Chandra's pretty good. Chandra. Bone Crusher Giant is just better here. I'm very surprised they chose to allow that Bomat Courier through and not actually block. Claim the Firstborn. I mean, as of right now, we just get to activate this, swing in. Yep. Yep, targeting that was not the greatest idea, but good game. Good game. And that's one of the best decks in Historic right now, to be 100% honest with you. All right. Berserk. Game number 4 against Berserk. We're having pretty good luck here. We have to mulligan this. We don't have any creatures. This is just freaking awkward. Yep. Let's get into 16 and see this red deck. Oh, it actually is a red deck, huh? Yep, you can play the Grim Initiate, but we're going to... Does this hit Planeswalkers? It sure does.
I am here to aid in the assault.
Let's gain some life back. This is pretty good. Yep, sure thing. We're gonna say lifelink, but you know, too bad that's indestructible. You gotta wait for it not to be indestructible to do that. I mean, yeah.
That was a good hit.
You can have a 1/1 and a 1/1.
Stand down.
So we want to do full control. I want to go ahead and play this. We're just going to say indestructible. Okay. Gonna get in for 8. Seems pretty good. I feel like they have to play this Spitfire, right, in order to chump block. From Initiate. So everything is going at Gideon. If we block, this will die. I'd rather Gideon die. Gideon's gonna die anyway. This mana cost or just okay, so
Bring it on. My strength gave out.
I mean that was a really good draw. So let's do this. Let's hold full control. Oh, they're not going to chump block. All right, you're at 2. We get to block. Go to 1. They would need to burn us. So it really depends on what they're going to have in their hand. They also have Castle Embereth. That's something we have to worry about. I value the Heart of Kieran right now more than the Chandra, but depending on how they attack, I mean, we might just throw it all in the way. I guess they could kill our Exemplar and our Chandra potentially, and then think that we don't actually have a way to. Yeah, that's a problem. That is actually one card that is a problem.
Nobody tells me what to do. Time to fight fire with fire.
Just gonna let it happen.
That all you got? I am out of here.
Gideon Jura, at your service.
We're gonna get this indestructible.
Prepare for battle.
Gonna crew. And then we're going to potentially swing in for lethal. Yep. Whew. There's a lot of like finicky interactions here that you really have to pay attention to. It's all about ordering, making sure things happen before you get to your declare attackers. So this deck actually is a pretty hard to navigate sometimes. All right. Again, like I was saying, there's a lot of intricacies that you really need to know how they work. It's very important that you're familiar with how ordering works and when you need to go into full control and all that other stuff. So we don't have any red mana, but I think this is worth keeping. We actually get to attack for 3 on turn 2. Maybe not. Yeah, I think we're gonna attack for 7 next turn. Oh, I mean, yeah, why wouldn't this deck have all of the answers? So, I think this is more important.
Together we can banish evil from this plane.
We will go.
I will lend you my strength.
Already has vigilance, so we will go lifelink. Wow. It must be so nice to draw all of the Burning Tree emissaries. Holy smokes. Yeah, so they know. Oh, they're just gonna give it up. Okay. I mean, they still kill Gideon here, but we kill a Robber of the Rich. Can play another Exemplar next turn. If we draw a red mana, we get to play Exemplar and Unlicensed Disintegration. That's a lot of damage really quickly against that deck. I'm glad they decided just to quit. You guys will love that. All right. Yeah, I really need to... You know, I'm like 98% sure that we definitely should have kept that last hand. Even though we didn't have any red mana for the Chandra. Because we could have potentially mulliganed that away and had a really horrible hand. And then it's like we mulligan into a playable hand. Because then we just don't... We just pretend we don't have the Chandra in our hand. That way we're on a 6-card hand anyway. And then if we just happen to draw the land into the Chandra, then it works. Right, let's see. So this is all right. See a Sarkin. It's probably a red deck. Oh, it's a colorless deck. Okay. Okay. Well, I mean, we're gonna play this down. Next turn we can play Bone Crusher and get in for 5. Probably see a Mind Stone or a Guardian Idol here. Okay. So would love to draw a red, or not a red source, oh, I can't even think of the card. All right, what are we giving you? Yeah, you can have a Maze Mind Tome. I don't want to give you land. Just on the off chance that... Alright, let's... Perfect.
Today's my lucky day. You will regret
Yeah, we're just gonna go face. Absolutely don't need to be focusing on Karn right now. The worst it's gonna do this turn is make a 2/2. Or if they get lucky. Yeah, and that 2/2 is 3 damage. Okay. Yeah. Just our flyer. Just our Heart of Kieran gets him. Whew. Really, really good. You can see the power of this deck, being able to swing in like that. All right, final boss time. See if we can get a good match, or a good last game against the final boss. Oh, there we go. There we go. Uh-oh. Banana Jones. Alright, we're going first. No red. Oh no, we have a red. What am I thinking? What am I thinking? Yeah, we're gonna keep this. Alright, what kind of Lyris deck are you? Knights. You are a Knights deck. Okay. Take them off their 1-drop. We can go into a 2-drop, into a potential 3-drop. All right, so that was actually really raw. We do have to be mindful of this unbreakable formation. All right, well. Two of these are pretty good with the Scrap Heat Scrounger in play. Probably has to play the veteran here, right? I'm imagining we're just going to see a quick concession here. 11. Yep. Ooh. That was quick. We probably need another game, right? Absolutely. Why not? Final boss time. All right, final boss time. That was a great draw. Well, it was a great draw specifically for that deck. Let's do it. Ooh, there we go. Right as I said it. All right, Victor. Victor gets to go first. This is one of those, like, hands. We're gonna try it. Oh, it's a waste not deck. Okay, okay. I don't know how discard fares against this deck. Okay.
I don't think you'll be needing that.
Oh, that was good. That was a little risky. All right, so let's go ahead and crew. Let's go ahead and do some life linking.
Prepare for battle.
Let's get rid of Davriel. I feel like a Hardikiran and a Gideon is pretty good against a discard deck. These are going to be harder for him to get rid of. He's going to have to prioritize getting rid of them on his turn. Okay.
destructive.
Okie doke, okie doke. Really wish we would have drawn a land there. This disintegration's really good if he decides to play that out. And then him having to kill Bone Crusher Giants is really good, because then he's going to take extra damage. I mean, honestly, yep. Yep, so he was definitely hoping to kill that Heart of Kieran. Sure thing. The Fatal Push. Ooh, them hitting Chandra there was really good for them. All right. So we are going to lose the unlicensed disintegration, which is kind of unfortunate. So, I mean, they're in a pretty good spot. They're just a couple of removal pieces away. Now they had another one. That is very unfortunate. Alright, what's our best draw? Gideon, probably? Maybe a Chandra? Yeah, I think a Chandra's probably our best draw. Okay, Waste Not is an irrelevant card. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and attack. What a great draw right there. That was a great draw. Whew.
Gods bless us in our righteous cause.
Gonna do indestructible. Not gonna matter.
Your light will cleave the darkness.
But yeah, that Gideon. That Gideon was a great draw. No lies, no lies. There's just so many cards that we have that they have that are going to be dead since we were able to empty our hand. That's kind of the downside to this, to their deck, is whenever they actually get you empty-handed, if they can't capitalize on it quickly, then they're just going to have a lot of dead cards in their hand. That's a good draw. Then get a Spyglass here. Kind of actually just shut us off completely. I don't think we can crew the... Can we crew this now? I don't know if we can. Do vehicles work? We're about to find out, because I'm not 100% sure. No, they don't. That's really good. So we're attacking like this. We get the Karn off the table. I feel like they think that that's going to be enough, but this is good. Don't get me wrong. This is a great card against our Planeswalker. We have to risk it.
Another day, villain.
Again, another dead card. Oh. Either way, they're going to gain life, so we have to block. Let's just draw a Chandra here. Definitely not a Chandra, but we're going to play it because we don't want them to capitalize on. So I get to play another Murderous Rider now. They should play this, yeah. This only deals damage to Planeswalkers. Alright, so we're going to go full control. Alright, so they have to have a removal spell, or we have exactly lethal. Man, Toolcraft Exemplar with Heart of Huron is really good. They're gonna go digging for something. There you go. I mean, we still have to. Okay. Okay. That was a good last game for a final boss. So let's talk about everything in the wrap up. All right, everybody, welcome back to the wrap up, and we crushed it. We went 7-1. We did lose a game, unfortunately, but I mean, you saw the versatility of this deck. We had some really quick games. We had we had that last game was a really great game against our final boss. But it is worth noting, again, it's very important to know, some people just don't even know about full control. Some people don't know that you can order things certain way. Some people didn't know that there's like a split second, when you go into your attack step, that you can actually respond before you just immediately declare attackers. So this deck does actually require a little more knowledge of the game, but decks like this actually help you improve as a player. This isn't just a like a mono red deck where most of the time, and I'm not saying every time, but most of the time you just shut your brain off and just point at your opponent's face and just pull the trigger and just say boom 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 boom, and deal all the damage to them and just ignore everything else that they're doing. As you saw with a lot of these games, there's a lot of intricacies that you need to actually pay attention to. You do have to watch, should I remove a counter? I can actually play this, power it up, remove a counter also, and then attack, and then I have blockers available. Worrying about creatures, giving them lifelink and indestructible. And then again, being able to power up a Heart of Kirin when you only have a Toolcraft Exemplar as a creature is super important. So there's just so many different things that you have to keep track of in this deck. I think this deck is actually worth playing just to help improve your game. This is also to me this is also a competitive deck. You saw how quickly it can actually power out damage and just control the game with all the removal. So not only is this a deck that will help you climb in competitive, or ladder, ranked, whatever you want to call it, this will also, I feel like, improve your playing because you have so many different things you have to pay attention to, and so many different things that you just have to be aware of and plan ahead and just understand how the interactions on the board work, knowing how to go into full control and coming out of it and all of that. This deck, to me, is just one of the best decks, at least right now, in order to do that, while at the same time maintaining that aggro aspect where you're not just sitting there, controlling the game like with torrential gear hulks and interactions like that. So again, I think it's worth playing. This is kind of expensive. There's a lot of mythics in it, but go for it. So with that being said, if you enjoyed the video, which I hope you did, please hit that subscribe button, that like button, the bell icon, share the video with all your friends. Check out all the cool links down below, the Discord, the Patreon, and the Twitch, and as well as letting me know down in the comments below that you made it to the end of the video, and let me know what you want to see in a future video. And again, we will do our best to make that for you. And I just want to hear about all your Kaladesh brews. So, all right, everybody, please stay safe. We will see you next time. Remember, this channel would not exist without such amazing viewers and subscribers. Thank you so much for interacting with the channel and helping grow the community. And a very big special thank you to the Patreons listed here for supporting the channel.